Hello YouTube, much love and Merry Christmas to all of you on this Christmas Eve. Today is Sunday, December 24th, 2017. It's been a good week, started out good, and then it ended on a heartbreaking note. So I'm going to get to the bad news first. So as many of you may have saw on my YouTube channel, I attended a candlelight vigil for a warrior here in Michigan. His name is Bryson Ricker. I was at his house on Thursday night because I lost a day somehow. I made a mistake. And I thought the candlelight vigil was on Thursday night. I got the dates wrong. But I went to his house, and because Bryson had been in hospice, he'd been on hospice and he had been bedridden. And so I went to his house, and his mom answered the door, and so I went in. I had to take my boots off. I had to lather my hands in sanitizer. And I went into his room where he was. I stood at the foot of his bed, and his mom was in bed next to him. And it was a nice visit. Sadly and unfortunately, Bryson had taken his last breath yesterday morning at 10:30. And I was at the candlelight vigil, which was on Friday, and it was a beautiful turnout. It was just a wonderful, amazing community. Cedar Springs is the people there are just absolutely amazing, and the turnout was I think more than what Brian and Kim expected. When I heard of Bryson's passing yesterday, I took it rather hard. He was only 16 years old. So, I don't know if Brian and Kim watch these videos. I don't know if Preston watches these videos. But I just wanted to offer my condolences and extend my love to the Ricker family. I had written a poem in dedication to Bryson. It's called Fly Warrior Fly, and I will have a poem video on my channel a little later today for all of you to get to read. So that's that. It's been the week started out good, and then it ended horribly. I don't know if what funeral arrangements there are pending, if any at all. I don't know if Brian and Kim have any arrangements set up. But I'm sure, at this time they would want their privacy. They need time to grieve. They need time to process. And on behalf of the Ricker family, I would ask of all of you, if you would like to contact them, to please just give them their peace and their privacy at this time while they process everything. And if there are any funeral arrangements to be made, you can keep up on the Team Ricker Strong page on Facebook. I'll be there. If there's any funeral arrangements at all, I'll be there. But it's a shame, and I'm sad, because when I went to see him on Thursday night, I was in his house, in his bedroom. Had I known that that was going to be the last time I would have ever seen Bryson again, I would have made it a more monumental, memorable moment. So I'm sad and I'm hurt today, and I realize that today is Christmas Eve, and I'm not trying to be a downer for the holiday. Excuse me, because I know a lot of you are in the Christmas spirit. As you can see, I put up a strand of Christmas lights. Well, Dad did. And I know it's not straight, and that's okay. But I was sitting here looking at it, and I realized that it's actually in the shape of a heart. So, who knows? Maybe it's a sign. Who knows? But I'm wearing my Christmas hat today. I actually just got back from the dollar store. I paid only 64 cents for this. And what's cool is that I have a light on the side that flickers. I know on the video it doesn't look like a flicker. Well, maybe a little bit it does. So yeah, that's the rough patch of the week. Is that a warrior brother had passed away, but Bryson had been battling DIPG for 2 years, and now his battle is no more. He's free and clear. But like I said, when I find out any funeral arrangements, if there are any, I'll be there. So I send my love and condolences to the Ricker family. And of all times, around Christmas, which is the hardest, I don't really know what else to say other than I'm glad that he doesn't have to suffer anymore. That's always a plus, and that's probably as good as answer I could give in response to his passing, is that his suffering is no more. I wish that we could find a cure for DIPG. I'm always going to wish that for all childhood cancer, but particularly DIPG because it is the most lethal of all childhood cancer. But on a much lighter note, I delivered a bird shirt on Thursday. That was before I went to Cedar Springs to see the Rickers. I had a bird shirt made up for Caleb Becker, and Caleb had LP, which is lumbar puncture, and he had chemo at Sparrow on Thursday. And I texted his mom. I said, well, are you still in Lansing at the hospital? And she, no, we're actually on our way home. So I had his bird shirt with me, and they weren't expecting me to show up. And I drove up to their house, and I had the bird shirt, hidden, tucked away in my coat. And a dear friend of mine, her name is Amanda, and friend of Dusty's, which is Dusty is Caleb's mom. Amanda opened the door, and I come walking in, just walking in real quietly. And when Dusty recognized who I was, she goes, oh, like that. And Caleb was sitting on the floor playing with his toys. And Dusty says, Caleb, look who's here to see you. And he looks up, Jared! And he comes running up, and I get down on my knees, and he gives me a great big hug, the biggest hug, tightest hug ever. And it's like, oh, hi, buddy, how are you doing today? And I'm just hugging him and just kind of coddling him. And so that was good. That was good. And he loves his bird shirt, by the way. So that makes me happy. I was able to deliver his shirt to him. 1 second. Oh. Yeah. Allergy season. Full swing. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, Caleb loves this bird shirt. I was happy to be able to deliver it to him. I feel like another sneeze coming up. Okay, allergies. I'm going to be making faces to the camera that people probably have never seen before. It's been a good week, and it's been, like I said, it ended on a rough note. There we go. I had to shake it out. Hey, Dad? Can you come here, please? Just 1 second, guys. Can you get me some toilet paper so I can blow my nose? Oh, thanks. All right. All right, Dad. All right. Thank you. Sorry about those guys. Oh, goodness. Allergy season. Oh, okay. Typically, I don't mind interruptions or having other people in the video, as you probably saw in last week's video. But this week I wanted to be special, given that not only it's Christmas Eve today, but to talk about Bryson. And I met him a few times. Actually, I met him a couple times. I met him at an event they had at Morley Park in Cedar Springs. It was a costume party. And then I met him right at his house. So, a couple times I met him. And when I met him at the park that day, he was one of the most politest young guys I've ever met in my life. He was in a wheelchair at the time, and but he come right up to me, shook my hand, says, "It's nice to meet you." I said, "It's nice to meet you." And I got to meet his brother Preston, who's also a cancer survivor. And I shook his hand. I got to meet Kim and Brian, and now I keep Preston in my thoughts now, especially because Preston being Bryson's brother, and Preston also being affected by childhood cancer, and Preston being the survivor. Which is kind of what I want to talk about a little bit. This thing called survivor guilt, which most people, they take it for granted. They don't think that survivor guilt is an actual real thing, and it is. There's it's knowing that you had survived something traumatic that other people have not. So it's a real thing. And my cat wants in, but Dad, can you let this cat in? I swear, every time I get busy doing something, I'm always getting interrupted in one way or the other. Mama's meowing to get in.
Stupid cat.
Yeah, I know. It's like she had plenty of time before to come in. And come on, Mama.
Come on, stupid.
Barkley, leave her alone.
Leave the cat alone. Come here, Bart. Leave the cat alone. Whoa.
Yeah, let him go. I don't care. You want to say hi, Dad?
Hi, Dad.
No, I mean to the people watching.
Hello. Merry Christmas to all. And to all, good day.
So yeah, survivor guilt is a real thing. It is. It is not something that somebody just made up. Survivor guilt actually and really and truly does exist. As a matter of fact, when I was at the candlelight vigil on Friday, survivor guilt kicked in very, very heavily. And I'm standing there holding my candle, because real life candles, you know. And I'm standing there in the freezing cold with no gloves, and I'm holding my candle. And I just had tears coming down my face. And it's because I survived childhood cancer, and it's always it's never easy to talk about, especially when a warrior passes away, and especially during the holiday season. It is never, they don't mix. When you talk about the loss of a child around Christmas time, or any time, but especially during the holiday season, it is not something that is easy to talk about. It is not one of the most easiest subjects or topics in the world to discuss. But, survivor guilt is a real thing. And people who have not been affected by this, they think that, they're just banking on this emotion to pander to people's emotions, but it's not true. I have survivor guilt, and I can't speak for Preston, and I probably shouldn't, but I imagine his level of survivor guilt now, after all of this, is probably, on a much larger scale. It may be worse than others, because it was his brother who did not survive, and he survived. Like I said, I probably shouldn't speak for him because I don't know what's going through his mind. Being the brother of a warrior, being a warrior yourself. So I won't further elaborate on that, but I do know what survivor guilt is. And yeah, I have my own level of my own, tolerance or level of survivor guilt. So please, anytime you hear a survivor talk about survivor guilt, please take that into consideration, because it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and I feel it all the time, every day. And knowing that I actually, and I think that's what makes it so hard, is the fact that when you're a survivor and you actually get to meet another warrior face to face, personally, the survivor guilt starts to it manifests even more, because you're in the presence of a fighter, and when that fighter passes away, the survivor guilt then becomes just astronomical, out of control, because you had high hopes that that fighter would be able to survive, and you could stand united and say, "Look, Cancer, you didn't get me." It's not always the case. It's not always the case. But I will say, looking at this from a different perspective, that I'm glad that Bryson no longer has to suffer, and he no longer has to deal with that. So I'm sorry if I'm coming off as a bit of a downer to all of you. You were expecting a happy-go-lucky, Christmassy spirit, and just all cheery, and I'm sorry. That is not the case for me. And it's not the case for the Rickers. They are having a hell of a time. So please, if you're friends with Brian and Kim on Facebook, or if you follow the Team Ricker Strong page, please just send your love and condolences, and just keep them in your thoughts. Just let them know that you care, and that you that you're keeping Bryson and Preston in your thoughts and in your heart. Bryson will always be in my heart. He will always be a brother to me, just like Preston. He will always be a warrior brother to me. This is it's hard. It's really hard. It's difficult. But I'll be okay. And I'm sure, I hope that the Rickers can find some peace knowing that Bryson no longer has to suffer at the hands of this egregious, disgusting disease known as childhood cancer. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's been a good week leading up till the end. We were going to put up a Christmas tree. We decided not to. We procrastinate on decorating the house at Christmas time, especially with trees. And, I mean, we even procrastinated with putting up a strand of lights. I had originally wanted to have the lights strung around me, but I was getting shocked in the neck. I was getting electric shock, and it's like, take these off me, unplug those lights. So I told Dad, I said, well, just put them up in the background and, make it feel Christmassy. But I know there's plenty of you who are in the Christmas spirit, and I don't want to, I don't want to ruin or spoil anybody's Christmas spirit when they are in a happy-go-lucky mood, which is why I decided to wear this hat and put up the lights, because, I don't want to, I don't want to overdo the sadness, but the sadness that I feel in my heart anytime a warrior passes away, for me, is just, it's unbearable sometimes. It's one of those things that if you have never been through this, if you have never gone through something like this, you could never know. I don't know what it's like to lose a child. I've said this on numerous occasions. I don't have kids, so I wouldn't know what it's like to lose something I never had. And my parents don't know what it's like to lose a child. But in any event, it's the sadness that you carry with you, knowing that that they're not with you no more. And so, but anyway, I really don't know. I really don't know what to talk about this week, guys. I'm kind of at a loss for words, because I do these videos every Sunday, and I'm always ad-libbing what I want to talk about. I don't have a formal written script in front of me, but I feel bad. I feel sadness, and it's hard to. It's difficult to just be in a happy-go-lucky mood, and knowing especially that it's Christmas time when you're supposed to be happy-go-lucky, and it's just not the case. And for those of you who are expecting something better or different, I'm sorry. I'm just not feeling it this year, and I hope that the people who are feeling the Christmas spirit will try to understand where I'm coming from, how most people who don't have a Christmas spirit understand where they're coming from too. They have their reasons for not having a Christmas spirit. And we're not trying to tear down anybody's happy-go-lucky spirit. We're not trying to do that. But it's hard to smile with a broken heart. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that everything is okay. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that my heart isn't broken. And I'm definitely not going to sit here and pretend that I have a Christmas spirit when I don't. And I'm sorry if that upsets or disappoints anybody. I will say, though, however, that I still wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. That you get to spend this holiday with your families and hug your children tight, hold them close. Because there's one family that I know of right now who will not get to do that. And that goes for any family who's lost children to, I mean, in any way losing a child, but childhood cancer, it is that thief in the night that just comes when nobody expects, and it robs people, it rips families apart, it destroys families, and I wish there was an easier way to take this. I wish that there was a scapegoat for sadness and grief. There's not. You have to take it head on. You have to accept reality for what it is, as much as it hurts, and you have to. You just have to roll with the punches, and it's easier said than done, I know, and it may be easier for me to say. But as far as I'm concerned, this was my loss too. So, you get them all right?
Yeah, I gotta go up here.
Well, that's what I was saying. Move the light so that way people can get in and out. And but anyway, so yeah, my heart is heavy today, and I'm going to try to get through the rest of this day. I'm going to try to get through the Christmas holiday as best as I can. My allergies, my sinuses are giving me hell today. I'm going to try to carry on and get through this difficult time. If there are, like I said, if there are funeral arrangements for Bryson, the hardest part is yet to come. And I didn't get to bed until like 3 o'clock this morning. I had written a poem called Fly Warrior Fly, which I had mentioned at the top of the video. And it's written in dedication to Bryson. And I wanted to express myself from a warrior to a warrior through a poem. I guess that's really all I know how to. That's the only way I know how to express myself is through poetry. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. Because when I can't put my thoughts or my feelings into a poem, or in my journal even, I don't know what to say. I'm left speechless. And I don't want to make a Sunday video update where I'm sitting here not saying anything at all. Because I know many of you are subscribed to my channel. You watch my channel to keep up with what's going on. And I appreciate that. But there will be times where I may not feel like doing the Sunday video updates. but I will anyway, just to get, just to keep you guys up to date on what's going on. But I haven't even been here probably in half an hour. Oh, yes, I have. I've been here for 30 minutes. That half hour went by quick. I really don't know what else to say, guys. I'll probably, if I can talk, I will be at Grandpa's tomorrow, Grandpa Fuller's. I don't know who else is doing what. I don't know what my brothers have planned for Christmas. But I'll be at my Grandpa Fuller's tomorrow with my dad. Because he's going to, be alone for Christmas if we don't go over there. And so I told my dad, I said, yeah, I'll join you. I'll be over there with Grandpa for Christmas. He's a widower now. His wife of 50 years had passed away back in January, and he's over there all by himself. He's 78 years old, and the only bright spot he has to look forward to is just getting out of bed. Not to mention, he's got some bird feeders that, they're outside his kitchen window, and he'll sit at the kitchen table, drink his coffee, and he'll just watch the birds. Canaries, mourning doves, woodpeckers, just birds of all different species, cardinals, blue jays, you name it. They all swarm. He'll buy 50-pound bags of bird seed, and he'll just sit and watch them. And I like watching the birds too. I love watching birds. Sometimes I'll go to the park here in town. I'll buy something to eat, and I'll sit in my van and eat my lunch or eat food, and I'll just watch the birds. They go flying back and forth, and it's relaxing. You watch the birds, and you think about things. You think about life. You think about, okay, what's my next move? What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do in the next 10 minutes, 5 seconds? I think that's what my grandpa thinks about. I mean, maybe it's wrong for me to elaborate on what his thought processes are, because I honestly do not know what his thought processes are. I don't know what he thinks. But I'm guessing, or at least I'm assuming, that he watches the birds because they relax him. Birds are very relaxing creatures, very relaxing species. And yeah, I'll sit and watch the birds with them. And I've never seen so many canaries in my life. They are just galore. And I'll sit there and I'll watch with them. And Grandpa says, it's amazing how all those birds come together like that. And jokingly, I say, well, yeah, it's chow time, He says, well, I know that. He says, I've never seen a group of birds, canaries, flock together like that. So, it's my dad on the front porch. But yeah. Oh, I don't know how I could have forgotten this. Thanks, Dad. I had a warrior with me last week. I took, his name is Xavier, and everybody knows him as Ziggy. He is a local warrior from, between Chesaning and Birch Run area. He lives out by my grandpa. He lives out by, I guess it would be Bert. His mom sent me a text message and says, I totally forgot, we've been invited to a dinner at the Red Robin in Flint, and we need a lift. Would you like to join us? And I'd love to join you. So it was his mother Priscilla and Xavier and his 4 siblings. He's got 3 sisters and a little brother. And his little brother, Vinny, is just the sweetest kid. It was a great night. It was on the house. Dinner was on the house at the Red Robin in Flint. I had a wonderful night. And I told Priscilla, I said, well, I said, well, maybe we'll get together again sometime. I want to take her and the family over to Bronner's one of these days just to look around or whatever, buy something, But I had a wonderful time, and I felt good knowing that I could help another warrior. It's like, Ziggy in my van? I mean, this is, I never would have imagined in a million years. It's like, wow, I have Ziggy in my van, he's in my ride. And, oh, Jared, it's no big deal. Well, it's a big deal to me because I've always followed him when I had Facebook, and, so cool. I was happy to, get to, take Ziggy where he needed to go. And I told his mom, because Ziggy has appointments at C.S. Mott Children's Hospital down in Ann Arbor. And I told his mother, I said, if you need me to take Ziggy to Ann Arbor, all you got to do is tell me. She says, oh, I'll have gas money. I have gas money. Okay. I usually have that covered, but okay. If you need to take Ziggy to an appointment, to dinner, to get a haircut, I don't care. If you need to do that, tell me. If I'm available, which I'm usually always available, I'll take him. I'll take you wherever you got to go. And I think she's starting to open up to me now, which I think is really cool. But anyway, guys, I'm talking in circles here. I really don't know what else there is to talk about. Oh, hell, I'll just go with talking about Christmas again, I guess. I remember living on Chapin Road, decorating our Christmas tree. Dad would remember that. When we lived on Chapin Road, and we used to have that great big Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah. With big trees.
In the living room, and it would always be my job to decorate it with garland and tinsel and popcorn and those paper chains of construction.
Paper mache rings.
Yeah, the paper mache rings and the construction paper chains that the kids always make. And I might do that next year. I might just buy a bunch of construction paper and have a paper chain going all around the house. Start from, start from the corner up there and just kind of go around the trim and go all the way around up by the bedroom doors, the door casings, out to the kitchen, around the utility room, and then back out into the bathroom, and back out, and then through my bedroom, and then back out again. That would be that'd be awesome to have a paper chain that long.
Yeah.
But how would I take it down? That'd be the next thing. I don't think I'd have enough room because that'd be a pretty long paper chain. But it would be fun to make. It would be fun to do. I might do that next year. Give me something to do. And what'd you have in the oven? Dad, what did you have in the oven?
A roast.
A roast. Dad's got a roast in the oven. A butt roast? Rump roast. Sounds good. But anyway, gals and gents, guess that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. Maybe this time next year I'll be in a more better, joyous, happy-go-lucky mood. I don't know. This year is just not a good year. Not for Christmas anyway. Anthony next door, he wanted me to participate in a video talking about the year in review, the good and bad points of 2017, but I don't know. I don't know. I haven't even really considered that. I haven't even thought about it. And I know he watches my videos, and it's no disrespect to you, Anthony. I just don't know yet. It's not something I would typically do. I mean, if he wants to do it, you know, he's got his own channel. He can do it on his own channel. As for myself, I think that the videos on my channel pretty much speaks for itself. There have been lots of good and bad points of 2017, just like any other year. The only thing that I could ever hope for is the people that I've ever had issues with in the past. I hope at some point down the road, down the line, we can amend those problems and find some forgiveness here, because life is just too short. Life is just too short. I can't even begin to stress that enough, because you know, I've been known to be outspoken about a lot of things. You guys know this, and I will continue to be outspoken. There's been a lot of people out there who have they've tried to censor me, bullying me into silence.
You need this box.
A box. No, I don't need it. I don't need it. There's been people who have been trying to bully me into silence. Let Barky out. So yeah, there's been a lot of people out there who they have tried to bully me into silence, and they have spread some nasty rumors about me, and they have just done a lot of horrible things and said a lot of horrible things. I mean, the only thing I can say in response to that is, do you really believe it, or are you just going with what everybody else says? It's always something that I ask, because there's a difference between actually proving something versus just believing what people tell you. And I hope that those people who just go with the flow, they just want to believe what people say. I hope at some point in their lives they wake up and understand that they were wrong, and because life is too short, I'm willing to, I'm a magnanimous person. I'm willing to forgive and forget. Well, I can't forget, but I'm willing to forgive. And I hope that those people will find it in their hearts, if they have a heart. But I don't want to be nasty and negative. I just want to make a point. It is Christmas Eve. I don't know if we're going to have a white Christmas this year. I really don't know. I guess there's a winter weather advisory posted. I don't know if it's for Saginaw County or where. I don't know where it is, but it's in Michigan. It's in an immediate area. So We might have a white Christmas. Who knows? I don't know. I could care less either way if we have a white Christmas. But, yeah, that's about all I wanted to talk about, guys. And in closing, I only ask that you just keep the Rickers in your thoughts, your prayers. They need it right now. They need the continued love and support. They are going through a hell of a time. Bryson, I love you, brother. I miss you. I will always miss you, but you will always have a piece of my heart. And Preston, you're always going to be a warrior brother to me too, no matter what. I don't know if the Rickers watch this video or not, but if they are, I hope they know that I will always be there for them no matter what. And I guess I'm just going to go from here. And if there are any funeral arrangements, like I said, I'll be there. It won't be easy, but I'll be there to support a family that I really and truly and deeply care about and love with all my heart, and that goes for all of you. Love me or hate me, no matter what, I love and care about all of you. So, have a very Merry Christmas. Much love to all of you. And peace.